Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today and over the next couple of days we will be harvesting our meat rabbits. We raise Champagne d'Argent rabbits and they are currently 16 weeks, which is pretty much the maximum time that we want to let them grow out. We not only harvest their meat, but we also will be harvesting their pelts, and I will be doing that a natural way, and I would be glad to take you through that process. And do not worry, there will not be any shocking elements in this video. This is one of our rabbits that are fleshed out, and we're going to tack this up and we'll be tanning this in a couple of days. But we do have Champagne d'Argent rabbits. So these rabbits are notorious for their meat, of course, but their pelts are beautiful, and we let them grow out to 16 weeks so that we would have a really nice thick pelt. And this is what we got out of one of our rabbits. So we just need to tack it up now, let it dry. It'll take a couple of days and then we can tan this.
Mom said to hold a knife like this.
Do you want to hold here?
Might just let it be done. Is there all the meat in the bag? In the box?
So for our hides, we are saving all of them. I did not get to fleshing 2 of them, but Ben and I both kind of took turns fleshing them out. It was just such a long, exhausting day to butcher and flesh. And I'm trying to do a different type of tanning this time, whereas the last time I was doing a tanning project, I did it with the orange bottle. This time I'm actually trying to do it more natural with willow bark. It actually has all the tannin properties inside the bark if you boil it down into basically like a broth. So I'm going to try that for most of my hides. However, last night it got really late and I was really getting frustrated with this hide, and I felt like I couldn't flesh it out correctly. So I was kind of doubting myself and decided, you know what, this one I am going to do the orange bottle because I think there's more flesh on there than I would like there to be. So I wanted to salt it. So now I have to have a project of salting. So I will be starting the tanning process for the orange bottle with this hide, and I've already salted it last night. That was the first thing I did, but now I need to do that again. I need to wipe off this salt and put a fresh layer of salt on, and then basically fold it in on itself and leave it for another day before washing. I do want to show you the hides that we have right now that are hung up. They look really great and they look really cool, and after some research I realized I probably did do a really good job on this, and so now I'm kind of kicking myself for it because I've forced myself to use the orange bottle and I really wanted to avoid that. But I guess it's a blessing in disguise because now I can compare the two and see which one I like better. So I just wanted to show you before I go do this in the trash that this is an up close of what it looks like currently. They are so pretty. I love rabbits. I just love them. So soft, beautiful hides. So for the willow bark tanning, the first process is just to hang the hides and let them dry and turn into rawhide. That actually makes it a lot easier for me because then once they're rawhide, I can take my time to do the tanning. I can do one by one. Whereas with the orange bottle, it's kind of just hurry up and do the process, do each step when you need to do it. There is no patience. The hide will not wait for you. I like this where the hide will wait for me. I can kind of slowly work through it. And then maybe I won't make the same mistake twice if I am doing it one by one. Hopefully there's no mistakes, but this is a very natural way, and it will give the flesh side a really nice orange tawny brown color. And hopefully it will leave the fur side as is. Most people say it does not change the color of the fur. The rabbits I have, the Champagne d'Argents, have a silvering hair with like black ticking on it, and I'm just a little bit worried about the silver hair, but most people have told me that it shouldn't alter their hair at all. So hopefully we just have a very nice brown, tawny, orange flesh and the same hide on the other side.
Very helpful. $6 to $7 a pound. So $140 with meat.
That one is 3.7.
How much?
3.7. So for dinner tonight we are having, of course, rabbit. It has been cooking in our slow cooker for about 9 hours now, and we are now prepping some veggies to roast over the campfire, as well as some sourdough bread over the campfire. So we should have a really yummy meal at the end of the day. I just tasted the veggies and it tasted so good. It had just like the slightest bit of smoky flavor, which is amazing. And I'm working on our sourdough bread. I did have to build up the side a little bit with some more coals because I kind of like want this process to hurry up a bit. Our rabbit is done in the house. We just need to debone it. And I'm probably going to make a gravy as well. But other than that, we're kind of just waiting on the bread and for the veggies to finish up.
The bread? Can I eat the bread? Can I eat the bread, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Can I eat the bread?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have my hide ready for the orange bottle tanning solution. This basically has just been sitting in a pickling brine for a couple of days, and then I washed it really well and hung it to dry. And yeah, so now we're at the point of applying this. I have a full video on how to use this tanning product on my channel, so I'm not going to go over all the nitty-gritty details. But yeah, I'll put this on, come back maybe tonight or tomorrow morning and check on it and see if it's really absorbed and if it needs any more application. But this is a pretty easy step. The only reason I really don't like this is because it's a chemical, and I was really I really don't like to use chemicals on anything if I can, but again, this is kind of just like my backup because I just didn't really trust my flushing on this particular hide. This hide was actually keeping me up last night. I was having trouble sleeping because I was worried that it had maybe already dried too quickly. But it's actually like a really good consistency that you need to put this orange bottle solution on. So I got really lucky because I kind of left it for what I thought was going to be too long because I was just so busy. So I just need to fold this in on itself. Try not to touch the hair as much as I can. There we go. And I can just leave this now and let that solution do its thing. Alright, so I am ready to start working on the bark tanning. I've collected a bunch of willow. I have some more on the floor. The more bark I have, the more tannins I'll have, obviously. So basically all I need to do right now is scrape off a bunch of the basically slices of this willow. I've got like a action packer to put it in for now. And I just need to get a lot of this. I guess I need my weight in hides in the bark. So I've got to get to work. So in here is the willow bark, and this needs to boil for probably like an hour. Basically, I'm just steeping the bark and getting the tannins out of the bark. And that will end up being my solution that the hide will soak in. Now this is the hide that I tanned with the orange bottle, and it came out okay. I'm not unhappy with it. There are a few spots that have lost hair, basically just this spot, and it's like completely bald here, so that's weird, unfortunate, and I'm wondering if that's from the salt brine, but it looks pretty good. Just kind of like a close-up of it. There's a lot of like little things still on it, like little wispies, and I just need to start tearing those off basically, but it's already been softened and it took like nothing to soften this. I just compare everything to the deer that I did, and that was so much work and it was really hard. This was so easy. This is just a very thin hide compared to deer, but it is so beautiful. Look at how beautiful that is. So I actually just took sandpaper to the hide, and it is really good so far, and it's actually making it easier for me to stretch it out. I'm stretching again. Basically when I stretch, I'm just trying to get rid of like these blue spots, and I can just stretch it out on like a corner of something. So I'm just using the kitchen. I can stretch. And spots just start kind of like disappearing as they get stretched out. So I think I'm gonna call this hide done because I don't want to keep like messing with it too much and, you know, lose hair or whatever. I can still take some of these wispies off, but I think I'm gonna say that this one is done, and then this can be my comparison to the willow bark. So it's about a half an hour in, and you can start to see that the water is turning orange, which is exactly what should be happening. Go on, Rebel. Alright guys, so I am back the next day because this is finally cooled off. It took way too long and I wasn't going to be patient enough for it. And I have untacked from our wall one of the other hides that I plan on using in the bark tanning method. And this is what it's like. It's kind of interesting. We're going to tan this with our bark solution. Look how dark that liquor is. Very dark. So that is good. There's going to be a lot of tannins in there. So we're just going to pretty much immerse this in there, and I do need to go get a rock to hold this down as it is kind of hydrating again and soaking up the solution. So at first it's like not going to just go in because it's still hardened. But after a few minutes, it actually kind of just feels like it's already loosening up a bit. It can go in. It has a very unique smell, this liquor solution. Can't really explain it. It's not necessarily good, but it's definitely not bad. So this will stay in here for probably minimum 1 week, and every day I'm going to come in and I'm going to kind of wring it out, stretch it out a little bit, as this process should help with the stretching because you're kind of doing it daily as you wring it out and test to see if it's tanned or not. So yeah, I'll probably check in a couple of days just to show you where we're at. So it has been definitely more than a week since I put the hide in the tanning liquor. I think it's actually been 8 days, so I want to show you what it looks like. It is looking really good. So it's starting to get that brown color, and I think it is pretty much almost tanned through. So there's a couple of spots that I'm still thinking need to sit in this a little bit longer. But every day I just have been coming up here and giving it some twists and stretching it out. And it is coming along very well. So the way to know that it is tanned through is like if you kind of start to peel back areas, it's still like that brown orange color underneath. Now this spot right here does need probably another day. And that is because maybe yesterday, I think it was, yesterday afternoon, I kind of peeled back a little part of the hide and it just kind of peeled off more than I was expecting. So that needs some more time in the solution, but a little bit right here too, maybe. But this is looking really good. It's almost time for it to start drying and stretching. So I think that my hide is ready to take out of the liquor and hang to dry for a little while. And then I can start stretching it and working it and softening it. But if I scrape back on the skin, it stays that brown color. So that means it should be tanned through. It's looking so good. And it did not dye the hair. So this is great. This is great news. Looks really good. I don't have any more like random white spots. So I think this is like definitely ready to hang up. The hide has been hanging to dry for probably like 7 hours now, and it's getting pretty dry. And at this point you have to add oil to your hide to make sure that it can suck everything in and it can actually be stretched and pulled apart and it can get soft. So I'm going to be using a salve that I made in the summer. This is my dandelion salve, and it was made with olive oil, which is perfectly fine to go on this, and it'll have a nice scent that'll make this smell a little bit better. The willow smell is really strong. Maybe this will just kind of deflate that smell. But basically I just have to rub this in and get it in every little crack and crevice before it gets to a drying point. I've already started stretching this hide, and you can tell because this part is lighter. So basically just throughout the day I was stretching it maybe every hour just to see what I could get done. But I don't want to stretch it too much until that oil is in there, so that when I do start stretching it, all the oil can kind of seep into all those little pores. The best time to add your oil is when the hide is damp but not dry. Alright guys, so I have finished my willow hide. This is the willow bark tan hide, and it is, oh, it came out so good. I'm gonna be honest, this is really nice. The color is just like beautiful. I love this. And it is just so easy. This was so easy to soften, and it just feels so good. It's really nice, and the smell is pretty good. So I will say that the willow had such a strong smell at first that I actually didn't know if I liked it because of how almost like a pond it smelled like. And that was kind of like, oh man, I hope this isn't gonna stay. But the salve that I put on is scented, so it smells a lot like that and a lot less like the willow. So yeah, this came out really nice, really good. I am for sure going to tan the rest of my hides with the willow bark. It came out superior compared to the other one. I will show you my other one again, and it's good. It's tanned, which is what we need, and it is very, very pliable. But I've actually worked on this one quite a bit more than I've worked on this one. I kind of still intend to keep going on this one. because there's a couple of areas that are a little bit firm that I could definitely stretch out a little bit more or shave down. But this one is just done. So I'll show you a side by side of these hides. So clearly they're a little bit different shaped, just the way they were butchered out. But yeah, this is what this side looks like. And the other. I will say that other than the obvious difference of color, the biggest difference was hair loss. Way less hair has been shed out of this hide. And in fact, I think it's done shedding. I think where it's at, this is all I'm gonna have loss. However, with this hide, I did, and I am still losing hair out of it. So I'm not really sure that this is like something I can really even use. It's like hard to tell, but like little hairs do just keep coming out. And I think that's because of my salt bath that it did. I think it was in there too long, or I used too much salt. I'm not really sure what the answer is, but way less hair loss with the willow hide. I think there are just too many variables that can happen when you use the orange bottle because it is chemical and you have a million more steps, honestly, than you do with the willow bark. So in the future, I'm definitely going to stick with the willow bark. It's just easier, it's pretty, I love it. It is so pretty and it's just straightforward. Like you can't really mess it up. You can only get lazy. You can get lazy and not do something in time, but you can't really mess it up. This is the preferred method now. Well, thank you guys so much for watching us harvest our rabbits, prepare our rabbits, flush and tan their hides. We will see you in the next video.